All right. All right. All right. Ah! Hello. Hello. Hi, and welcome. Hello. Fuck. That's better. Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the not end of the month hangout because I haven't done those in months. Welcome to, I guess, the the Mia Mulder burnout make up for session. Please don't be angry at me edition uh, for the fact that I haven't done my streams for months because my mental health is in the pits and you still have that echo. Echo? What echo? Fuck. I shouldn't have that. Hello? 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 I don't hear it either in my monitor. Anyway, um, 24 has been a miserable fucking year. And I have been doing a bunch of things like off camera haven't that we haven't talked about publicly a lot until like right now. So some of you may have heard from the Leechfest podcast Patreon page that we are currently in the middle of a big move. I'm not gonna say exactly where because we are gonna announce exactly where we're moving a bit later down the line. But essentially, on top of not knowing how to say no to more work, doing more work than I have done before, having just bad mental health this spring for some reason, and got the seasonal affective disorder, don't I? On top of normal depression. On top of that, there's also been a move that's been going on from this apartment, which is the old apartment where I've been recording my videos for the last like 2-3 years, to a new one somewhere else. And it's a big move. And it's been one of those moves that's like, where we've known for a long time that a move is coming up soon, but you don't know exactly when. So it's like you prepare everything, you prepare everything as good as you can, and then you just sit in tension that won't be released because you don't know when you're actually gonna move. So we're in the middle of that right now. However, I did manage for the first time in like literally months and months and months. I finally have 2 free weekend days. And so I decided, what better time to revisit Patreon and do the streams that I have promised my patrons. And then in addition to that, also do the streams for public and Hangout that I, strive to do once a month at least. Because I haven't been doing them as I should have for a long, long time, which is really bad of me. But that's gonna be better once this move is over. And then also, very, very, very soon, because of this move, and also because of other reasons that I mentioned in my previous video, for example, I'm gonna be like big. I'm like the amount of work that I do as a politician is gonna go from like a lot to basically none at all. And then I can focus full time on making YouTube videos again, which is what I really want to do. Which I do mention in my last video in case you haven't seen it. Which some people haven't. So very soon, like this summer, essentially, I'm gonna go from being like in maybe one of the most stressful, overworked, burnouty periods of my entire fucking life. And how do you say? To having one where it's actually like nice and good and fine. Like I actually get to go back to making YouTube videos like I want to do. So how are you doing? Oh, and the way I'm paying back for this um, is that I usually have like an hour-long stream at the end of the month. It usually comes in the beginning anyway, and I have like an hour-long stream for patrons where we react to older videos, and I do like an AMA type of thing, and then an hour-long here. But because I've been negligent and I need to catch up, I'm doing this weekend as like two big chunks of long streams. So yesterday I streamed for 4 hours, where we did an AMA and a React stream, which only patrons get. And today we're gonna try to do the same. We might not be able to go for 4 hours though, because I have like a killer fucking headache, and it's how do you say? It is Sunday. I have so much work next week, so I'm gonna try to be kind to myself and not overwork myself too much. So today I've been playing mostly video games up until now. Yeah. So this is not a new room. This is just a new angle in my old apartment. This is the living room, where I have been. It's just like I haven't streamed here, but now the place where I used to stream, my office, is full of moving boxes and bags and trash bags and shit like that. And this room has better lighting, in which case, such as, how do you say, the sun. It's a bit overcast, so it's not going to be out for super long. But by the time the sun sets, I think we're not going to be, how do you say, streaming anymore anyway. Just because I think we're going to go for like, I'm aiming for like 3.5 hours, 3 hours maybe. 4 hours yesterday was fun, very fun, but you know, it's a bit tough. Bit of room reverb. Yes, the reason for why my audio is not maybe as, I don't know, crisp as it usually is also because of the move. In my infinite wisdom, I packed my microphone. I have my computer here still, but my microphone is like in a box, heading somewhere else. We're sitting here for 5 hours. Unfortunately, I cannot do 5 hours. I'm very sorry. New background for the green screen. Kind of, like I don't, unfortunately, I have a green screen. I never use it because I never had like a good opportunity to actually use it well, is the thing. Just because I'm not good at it. But I know that in the next apartment that we're moving to, I'm actually going to be able to have a space, like a recording space that's a more dedicated recording space. The space that I've been recording now is just the wall of my bedroom. It's, you know, it's not a studio space. I've been wanting to have a studio space for ages, but setting up a studio space and like making the time to use a studio space is so much work that I just can't do currently. Like I am legitimately, like this weekend, today and yesterday is maybe the first time in like honestly like four months where I don't have any work in the weekend, because it's always work on the weekend. There's always some shit to do. There's always some meeting. There's always something, you know what I mean? But not this weekend. So I'm very thankful about that. Because of that, it's also very difficult to like set up a studio space. But once this move is done, and once I'm gonna like go down in work hours as a politician, I will also, on top of that, have a dedicated space to record videos in. So I'm gonna be able to build sets and shit, which I've been wanting to do for years. So that's gonna be fun. So, you know, feel free to ask questions and shit, because we're gonna be here for a while. I figured if we don't end up with anything to do, I'm just gonna boot up like a Jackbox game and we're just gonna hang out and play Jackbox games, because we haven't done that in a while. We used to do that on these Hangout streams, but we haven't done that in a long, long time. So we might do that if we run out of things to talk about. I also, in further infinite wisdom, forgot to eat today, so I might order some food in the middle of the stream, and like await that. Because it's the only weekend I'm gonna have for a while as well, because the next couple of weekends are also gonna be work. Interesting work, fulfilling work, but work. So I might say fuck it and order some food. Maybe. I really shouldn't, because this move has been very fucking expensive and I shouldn't spend the money. However, I did also get paid today from Patreon, so I'm gonna be. I'm not as broke as I was yesterday. I'm just rambling and rambling and rambling. Do I get a bank holiday? No. No, we don't have bank holiday. We don't have bank holidays. Sorry, I had a rough few months. Mr. Stream yesterday, I hope it went well. It went great. I thought it went pretty good. But yeah, I've had a rough couple of months. Happy recent birthday, thank you. I actually, it was like 2 weeks ago. Have not had time to celebrate it. I have a planned celebration of it, which is going to be to watch. Oh my god. I'm literally being texted right now about political work. So I'm just like, why are you texting me right now? It's a Sunday. Legitimately have not even had time to celebrate it. My plan to celebrate it is to eat cake and watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies, the extended versions. So that's gonna be something. Eventually. Half an hour stream and make it shorter the more donations you have. Yes. Give money to extend the stream. Don't. That's gonna. I've seen this happen to other YouTubers and they never go to sleep. It's not good. So please don't. Let's not do that. Use a green screen to make your background like a Windows music visualizer. Yeah, that'll be great. That's actually a really good idea. It might work for my next video though, which is about spirals. Which I hope that you are, which I hope that you are excited to see. I'm just gonna bring out some crackers. Patreon is a personal unconditional basic income. It's not unconditional. Will you tell us if you're staying in Sweden? I'm not telling you anything about where I'm moving. I'm gonna give you a very vague, like, indication later, because it's gonna be announced during the Leechfest podcast, and then you'll find out in a very vague sense about where I'm living. Right now, I live in a place where, like, it's because I'm a politician. It's very easy to find out exactly where I live, and I don't like that. So the place we are moving to is actually going to be top secret. But you will have a vague indication. No, you're probably too busy to attend, but were there any Valborg celebrations in your area? Probably. I wasn't in my area during Valborg, or it's also called Valpurgis Eve, which is the day before May Day. But I wasn't in town that day. I was traveling. I was traveling, and also preparing for, like, May Day celebrations, just because May Day is a big day for left-wing politicians. Spires like New Jersey style. A lot of people have been asking that. And I'm gonna repeat the same answer. It's about spirals, people. What's not to get? It's spirals. I said this also in the in yesterday's stream, but I came up with my upcoming video idea when I was not very sober, but it made perfect sense at the time. And since then, I've had to sort of like work backwards from spirals to make a video. But I have a vision. I have a vision. That's gonna be good. Which games I've been playing? I've been playing No Man's Sky, which I have never played before. But I've tried it, but I never actually like sat down to play it. So that's been my how do you say? That's been my go-to game recently. It's been like the one. Also because like it's kind of casual. I get to jump into a spaceship and build a little town, or build a little, little house. It's fun. I probably could play it like effectively, and like I don't know how people. I like flying around a spaceship and building houses, and the game like lets me build sci-fi houses, and I like that. Is the purpose of the stream to make us want to take care of you because it's working? Yes. I love Why do you think I got a YouTube channel? I want people to pay attention to me and be attentive to me and take care of me. I don't actually want to take care of myself. I'm not a responsible person, and I can't be trusted with myself or with like having any authoritative power. And people need to take care of me. I'm laughing. It's been a long 5 months this year. But no, that is not the purpose. The purpose is just to hang out, talk shit, see what the vibe is. You know what I mean? I should probably download Jackbox though, if we're gonna play a Jackbox game later. Big if. I haven't played Jackbox in a while, so I don't know how it works. But we'll figure something out. I'm eating communion wafers, yeah. I am. What are these? Rosemary crackers. I don't know what I'm eating sometimes. Again, it's been a rough couple of months. You didn't use the Soviet banknote they gave you the problem. No, I mean I didn't really find a good use for it. It's more decoration for me. Fandom is scary sometimes. Yes, it is. Sometimes it really is. I say I can't be trusted. Y'all can't be trusted sometimes. All the Matrix movies were on sale in a shop yesterday. Fun. Unfortunately, I mean, I guess they're old as fuck, so it makes sense that they're on sale. I did recently rewatch the Matrix movies, and they still fucking slap. I love them all. Clearly moving to Revachol. Honestly, not that far off. Have there been creepy people because they know roughly where you live? No, not really. But incidents have occurred, let's say. I'm not going to get into more super much more detail about specifics there. Opinion on Doom Part 2? Really fucking good movie. Really good movie. Really fucking good movie. I really like Dune Part 2. It really hit. And it's also nice to have a movie that's sort of like like a movie that sits with you for a while, you know what I mean? Like having a movie, like really enjoying it the second that you get out of like the movie theater, but also really liking it like 2 or 3 days after, when you're sort of like sitting with it and you're just like, It has a lot of like it has a lot of emotional weight, which I quite like. And I feel like it's really well paced and really well put together. I know that a lot of people complain that like the end, that the like that the latter like third felt a little rushed, but I don't agree. I think it was great. Um, and because I saw someone talking about why it could be rushed intentionally, and like I think it's something that I'm not necessarily, because I didn't think it was rushed at all. So it's like I'm not agreeing with that, but I think the pacing worked for this favor, which was that because it's a lot sort of like more rapid fire than the first part of the movie. You don't connect that much to Paul as a character and like his internal struggles, which is really good because that you then you have the same relationship to Paul like a lot of people are having with Paul, which is not just as like a guy, but like as a figure. You know what I mean? Like as a storytelling device more than a person. It's fucking good. It's good shit. Started therapy this year. Nice, nice. I I'm I mentioned in my video about like psychology and psychiatry that I'm kind of over, how do you say, I'm kind of over the idea of therapy for myself. But it is always lovely to see like it's always great to see it when it actually works, when it's actually like good. You know what I mean? Which I mean it is for like a lot of the time for many people. It's just that it wasn't for me. Free Palestine, yes, correct. The Hangover gave me a vision. Wasn't the Hangover something I never expected to relate to, but I too am in the process of being diagnosed with ADHD. Legitimately, I think that like I heard this for years from people long before I knew that I had ADHD. But I heard from friends who had ADHD that they like my videos for the pacing because it sort of appeals to an ADHD like style type of thing. And I kind of get that. I've gotten a lot of people sort of like tell me that they have ADHD and also that they watch my videos. Um, I think the people who say that my videos end up being, um, I know that my videos end up being like a little unfocused sometimes and meandering a little bit. But I think it's very easy for me to sort of like read the tone about whether or not that's positive or negative, depending on, if they have ADHD or not. Because a lot of people who I know like the fact that my videos are very meandering and non-focused. That's how I like them. That's why I make them that way. And then some people are like, get to the point, be more focused. And I'm like, okay, you are clearly not of the same mind here. I subscribe to the classical YouTubing creator tradition of that you make content for yourself, and then if anyone else likes it, that's just a bonus. Like I've never made a video just for anyone else. It's always been like if it's something that I would like, then it's like okay. Gotta be a gender fluid face dancer, probably. Some things that are very gender. There's a lot of gender in Dune. Started HFT last year. Nice. Still feels like it's taking forever to do anything. How did you figure out your E levels were too low? I figured out my E levels were too low because I had a moment of revelation of like, hold on, I've been on HRT for like a fucking decade. Why don't I look like a why don't I look as good as like everyone else that I know? How come I don't look as nice as like the friends that I have in the UK and the US and shit? And then I asked them what dosages they have, and they were sometimes like twice my dosage. And then I asked them what their real levels were, and they were like, "Oh, you have way higher than I do." And that's how I realized Sweden has like crazy low, like maximum limits for what is like an acceptable level of HRT for trans people, which is why tons of people supplement their HRT here with self-medication, which, you know, not ideal, but Sweden is also like fucking dog shit when it comes to like trans healthcare. Watering down the estrogen. Yes, literally yes. Oh yeah, that's ADHD. Yeah, I mean that's how it goes, kind of. But the thing is, like, you gotta find a correct like doctor for it, because, or like a therapist for it, because I went. It took me like over a year to get diagnosed with ADHD. And like 90% of that year was just finding a doctor that would listen to my symptoms and would actually like test me for shit. Because I was talking to like my GP, like, you know, hello, like, coming to them hat in hand being like, hello, I think I have ADHD. Could you send like a referral? First time they were like, you don't have ADHD. And I'm like, you're not a fucking therapist. Like, how do you know? What the fuck are you talking about? And then I did get a referral to ADHD. And then I had like 2 meetings with like a freshly graduated, therapy major kind of, who made me fill in a bunch of forms, and based on the forms, I didn't have ADHD. So it was like, okay, like I didn't fill the diagnostic criteria because the way that I described my own childhood didn't like meet the criteria, and because they use like old, outdated forms as well. Like one of the questions on the form, which is like quite significant, is also like, were you did you have difficulties like conforming to like structured rules in your house, like in your family? And I was like, no, I didn't, because my parents didn't fucking have any rules or structured rule set. Like my parents were very sort of like laissez-faire with raising me, which is why I am the way I am. And I love them for it. But they, I rarely had rules or structure or organization in like any sort of way that I could have trouble with following. You know what I mean? I would always have something else to do, and like if I wanted a structure, like sometimes I would crave structure, and then they would give it to me. And like, but because I didn't have because I didn't struggle with that, I was like, I didn't have trouble with that, so I scored like a low score on like in the youth section of the form. And because ADHD is like a developmental condition, you need to have had it both as an adult and as a kid if you're going to be diagnosed as an adult. And because I didn't score high enough on the child part, they were like, you don't have it. And I'm like, but I have the symptoms like right now, so like something's wrong with me, right? And they were like, yeah, probably, but we can't diagnose it with ADHD. So I was like, okay. And then I contacted like a third fucking doctor, had to go private for this one, and then they were like, yeah, okay, we'll put you through like a test, like an actual fucking test on focus. And then I, broke the scale. Legitimately, I maxed it out, which is like, which is why they also maxed out my Vyvanse dose, because they were like, we need to get this under control. Have you read anything from Robert M. Sapolsky? I don't remember the name, so no. But he writes some interesting neurobiology and free will stuff. I will add him to my to-read thing. American neuroscientist. I've seen these books around, actually. I've seen Behave. The Biology of Humans at Our Best and Worst. I've seen this. I haven't read it, but I've seen it. I've seen it around. So I could read. I'll read it sometime. When I have fucking time. No, I'll have time to read next week. Next week I'm gonna be at the Left Party Congress next week, to like vote on, who should be the party leader and what kind of politics the party should have for the next 2 years and stuff like that. Because I'm a delegate, yay. Which is like, it's gonna be a lot of work, and I'm not gonna be by my computer, which is gonna just fucking suck because I'm not gonna have anything to do. I'm not gonna be able to play video games. But I am also like, I don't have to talk. I just have to vote. I just have to listen and I have to vote. And that's it. Oh, and the wonderful thing, the most wonderful thing in the fucking world is there's a voting system where you can pre-select your vote for each individual proposition. And if a proposition doesn't have enough like supporting votes, like if a proposition doesn't have 10% of the vote, it won't even be brought up to be debated to save time, which is great. But that also means that like, and like I'm gonna do this very soon, like before the Congress even starts, I can just like pre-vote on every fucking proposition that is, and then just change my opinion in case the debate ends up being like convincing, which it probably won't be because I'm very opinionated and very stubborn, so I know what I think about everything. Which means I'm just gonna have to sit there and actually like, attend and like do my democratic duty, but I can just, listen to an audiobook or read a book or something. People do that all the time. Inattentive ADHD. Yep, that's the one I got. In the US, they increment dosage very slowly normally. It takes several months to get to real doses. It will literally take months, but things do change. Such crap at Swedish estrogen. Yeah, it is. It fucking is. Swedish estrogen farmers in shambles. Love the latest Leech Fest. Thank you. I'm curious what the creative process is like between you and Salem. The creative process between me and Salem is very kind of basic. It's like we have a huge list of like conditions and episode topics that we would like to talk about. We when we finish an episode, we pick one. We make like a very vague outline of like a script, because we're very, very script focused. And usually it's I who takes like the history segment. Sometimes I do epidemiology as well. And we've sort of fallen into some traditions about like, I do the intro, I say like bye-bye at the end of the episode and stuff like that. So those things kind of fall quite naturally. And once we have like our sections, we just write them in the same Google Doc, and try to like keep an eye on what the other person is writing so that we don't write the same thing. Because sometimes, the history segment and sort of like the scientific segment, they will overlap a little bit. So we keep that there to make sure that there's no overlap in the actual content. And then I spend a significant amount of time double checking my grammar, because I'm not great with grammar. I never was. And also, apparently I have ADHD. So sometimes this happened way more before I was medicated. Sometimes we would record an episode and I would reach a point in my script, which I thought was completely done and finished, and a sentence will just like stop midway through. At which point we have to like stop recording and I have to sort of like finish the segment, which is very, very annoying. But that doesn't really happen much anymore. But that's not so like, so we work very independently in that case, in that sense. And then when we record, we follow the script like very tightly. So it's very kind of straightforward in that sense. And then I don't do the editing on Leechfest. I would not have the time. Salem does all the editing. Salem does a lot of like the management of the podcast. Which I appreciate, because I would not have the time. But she also takes a bigger cut of the income from the podcast because she does more work. Any serious practitioner would use an e-meter? Yes. An e-meter is what I use when I need to find eggs in the bar. during Pride. It's dumb. Do you have any favorite examples of either books or anecdotes / truisms of pop history that just like really annoy you and stand out as awful? Anything to do with the great man theory of history, I quite dislike. That's not really like a truism or thing like that. So it's like, I quite like the saying that history is written by the victors, but people tend to not like it, but they dislike it for a very different reason than why I like it. Because people say like obviously it's not like a historical rule because there are no rules in history, but I quite like it because it kind of gives you a little bit of an indication of sort of like the ideological victory rather than sort of like a more like matter of fact, peace declaration type of victory. Because the example that a lot of people will use, right, is for why history is written by the victor is dumb, is the South lost the American Civil War, right? But then why are there a bunch of like history revisionisms in Southern textbooks, and why are there statues to Southern generals and things like that? Like, but they didn't win, and like, yeah, the war, but like the struggle, the ideological moment of sort of like of racism essentially is something that like, yeah, the North didn't win that one. Reconstruction failed. They gave up on Reconstruction. They gave tons of concessions to Southern politicians, and that's victory. That is the victory, because like people tend to sort of like end the sort of like victory by the end of the war, right? For example, like, but that's not what that is, because wars are almost always fought for like ideological reasons. So we should talk about sort of like how is the ideology doing? You can impose ideology through war, and you can like do diplomacy through war, but unless you actually like follow through and like do it properly, then you don't win. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? But that's not really like a thing. But like, obviously that's not, that's just my onion, and it's not really like it's not a hill I'm gonna sit and die on. The thing I do hate more than anything is the idea that history is cyclical. People have this thing of like empires last this long. There's a major war every other like this number of decades, and it's dumb. That's so dumb, because yeah, sure, history is cyclical until it isn't. Great wars happen between these many decades until it don't, because I think a lot of people have a very sort of skewed view of just how big history is. Like they'll have some sort of like, yeah, history is cyclical, and they'll go back to like the 50s or like maybe 1900, and it's like, if we want to have like cyclical history, we need to look at like historical patterns that go back thousands of years, because otherwise it makes no sense. You can't just like what do you mean? Like by the same metric, I am only a No Man's Sky gamer, because that's the only game that I've been playing for the last couple of weeks. But that's just historically not true. That's not a historical rule. And if anything, like I would be much more of a grand strategy player. So I don't like that part. A lot of people like, I know a lot of people just use it, like see it as a meme, and they view of it as a meme, and they use it in like meme formats, and that's fine. But I have I have a grudge against the concept of like viewing history in as if you can use it in any predictive way. Like, because if you start saying that history is cyclical, then you're like, okay, well then the cycle will continue. You're making the implication that the cycle will continue. But you can't use history to predict the past. You can use it to explain the present, and you can use the like present to sort of like, you know, make judgments of things that are happening right now. But you can't make any prediction of the future. I remember my history professor when I was doing my master's, which I didn't finish, really fucking drilled this into us. That's like, whatever you go on to do after this, if you write books, or if you become like an archivarian, or if you like go deeper into academia, the thing you never can do is predict the future, because once you start predicting the future, you're going to be wrong. Like every single time. And he's right. And I agree with him. Yay, political congress. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be talking about narcotics. I'm one of like I'm one of a very few amount of like left party delegates to this congress who are going to the congress with the express purpose of trying to make the left party the first major political party in Sweden to become in favor of decriminalization of narcotics. We're not sure if we have the votes yet. We're doing a lot of like strategizing. We're doing a lot of planning for it. We're doing a lot of work to try to see if we can convince enough delegates to make the left party into like a, you know, to join the war on drugs on the side of drugs. So that's gonna be interesting. Like I'm gonna be up and talking in the I'm hoping at least to be up to be in the speaker chair multiple times to talk about this issue specifically, which, you know, that shit's gonna be on national news, because when political parties have their congresses, you know, the media, they pay attention, and if we get the votes, it's gonna be major fucking news. But it's as it's looking right now, I remain slightly pessimistic. But it's close. It's almost definitely going to be debated, though. You need at least 10% of the votes for the question to be like actively debated in the Congress. And as far as I can tell, my proposals have the votes. And there are a couple of other like narcotics proposals that have also been levied, and I think most of them also have the votes, like at least 10%. Then it's just a question of like getting 50. But we can do it. I believe we can do it. That couch looks super nappable. It is. It really is. It really fucking is. It's most selected from the book Behave. Oh. I'll watch a series. That seems nice. Polski seems nice. How did you learn English? I mean, I kind of had to learn English as a kid because like my dad's Dutch, and like I can understand Dutch when like my dad speaks it and like my family speaks it, like my aunts and stuff. But if I'm gonna be communicating to like the Dutch parts of my family, I can't speak Dutch. I can understand it, but I can't speak it. So English was the thing I had to learn. I speak with my dad in Swedish, obviously, because he knows Swedish. But English was sort of the thing that I had to learn because I didn't know how to do it. And also, every piece of media that I consume is in English. And it just has been like that since I was a kid. So I'm very happy that I know English quite well. But then again, a lot of Swedes do. But I will say proudly that I am better at Swedish than most Swedes are. Comes over to Franz Halder getting through the Wehrmacht history. This indicates something. Frederick II of Prussia. Greatest gay man or merely the gayest great man of history? Why not both? doing a video on pop history and its consequences and its different forms and stuff like Lub and its 250 empires are coming into it. Yeah, like 250 years empire. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Someone's trying to maintain status quo, like giving up the ability to change. I mean, that is legitimately kind of the goal of a lot of political theorists. A lot of political theorists, who, because history and political theory like overlap significantly, right? So there's a lot of cases of political theorists trying to write history and come up with the rules for history to sort of like explain away their own political philosophy. And if you'd like the status quo, then you're gonna find ways to sort of like, you know, find a cope for why we will end up where we are right now anyway. The end of history, for example, is a very good example of this, but it has been done by multiple people. History is not a scientific principle. It's not predictive. It can be indicative. It is a scientific principle. Not to be that kind of person, but like, there are scientific, there is a scientific methodology implemented in the study of history. Like, granted, the history that I did, and the history that a lot of people do, which is like, you know, you write essays and you read books and you write more and more essays and maybe some articles. Yeah, that's not maybe the most rigorous historical science, but there are others. There are many others, many other styles of studying history, and many of them have a very like scientific approach to them. It's just that, yeah, like, you know, granted, you can't do experiments in the same way. Like in the same way of like, you know, you can't apply diethylene glycine on, you know, the Declaration of Independence and like get a new analysis from it. But there are methods. This is an even earlier idea with cyclical history. Oh, as far as I know, like there's people have been saying vaguely that thing since the Roman Empire. But I think Vico was like came up with, you know, the terminology for like history comes in cycles. Hello. Thanks for being an inspiration. I knew. Believe me, I am not an inspiration. YouTube did remove this option, that is true. No, I know how the events are formed. I know. And that's what I also said, you know, like you can't do future predictions. How did I only used to do this for a fucking hour? Because we're already coming up to an hour and I feel like we barely got started. Do I usually do these for like 2 hours? No, I don't, because I don't have the fucking time. So like, this is how it feels when, this is the difference, I think, when you make, when you do a stream, like in the late afternoon compared to, you know, right before bedtime, which is how I usually do it. Because of fucking time zones. My how to pass video is quite good, I think. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I keep seeing that one be spread around by a lot of people. I barely remember what was in it, and I feel like I look like a completely different person in it, because it was like multiple years ago. I will not. Going on Magnus Hirschfeld tangents are that's the goal. I'm trying to get more people to do that. I think it's so funny how whenever like I think it's so interesting how like J.K. Rowling and like her like batshit crowd of idiots like found out who Magnus Hirschfeld was and like latched on to the fact that, you know, he had ideas about eugenics in the 1800s, and it's like, yes, do you not know about historical character what, as if it's some sort of like weird slam dunk of like, you know, this historical character that you're all standing had this opinion. It's just like, yeah, but no one's saying. You're arguing ghosts. You're fighting ghosts here, Joanne. Jolene? Joanne? What's her name? I legit don't. No one tell me. I don't want to know. I don't care. I've had her blocked for years, and I'm very happy about it. Everything I've learned about her like recent discourse, I've learned against my will. And now we have the fucking, what's it called? The Future of Humanity Institute at Oxford or whatever it is. Which is like very weird. Off topic, any interest in doing a Manor stream? Fuck yes! That's true, I have been playing a little bit of Manor lately. That is the other game I have been playing. I've only played, I've made a town, and then I stopped. Like I haven't done, so I know how to play it now, but I haven't actually like sat down to do it more. But I would, yeah, fuck yeah, I would love to. Manor is a very fun game, and I quite like the idea of building my own little castle, and you know, having my own little, being the lord of like a little town, a little village, which is basically what I am right now. But yes, that is, I definitely want to do something like that. I haven't streamed video games also in months, like on top of like these ones I'm doing today, like the Hangout stream, and especially yesterday when it came to like Ask Me Anything streams and like reacting to older videos. Like those are things I've promised patrons. So those are the things that are sort of like, those are the things I need to do, and I feel utmost shame of not doing. But I do also want to like, how do you say? I really want to stream video games as well, right? And I used to do that like fairly semi-regularly before I went into politics, and now it's just like, oh, I have literally no time to do anything. After this move, I'm gonna be streaming video games again. Once this move is over, and like once I've had my, you know, my final municipal council meetings before the summer, then the summer is gonna happen. There's no politics happening in the summer, and then after the summer, I'm gonna be working, instead of 50%, I'm gonna be working 10%. And I'm gonna be playing so much fucking video games, you guys. And I'm gonna be making so many fucking YouTube videos again, because I haven't been making that. Folks, I have so much stuff that I've been wanting to do that I just haven't been able to do because I've been so involved in politics, like the last year basically. Because typically, in typical fucking fashion, I got my ADHD diagnosis last summer, right? Which means I got medication while I was in politics. And so much of like my new focus and energy and stuff like that has sort of been forced to be channeled in there, just because I feel, no offense, but I feel a little bit more of a responsibility towards the electorate than I do to YouTube. I still feel a huge amount of responsibility to my audience, by the way, but being elected is like there's a responsibility there that is like societally important in a way that maybe these streams, maybe streaming Manor Lords is not. Um, even though as I said in my last video, I think that I could do much more here, which is why I want to get back to doing this instead of politics, because I want to. This is better for the world, I think, than me being in local politics. What was my point? Yes, that. So like I've never experienced like doing YouTube full time on medication. Has never existed. And I would love to see what that looks like, because my biggest problem doing YouTube work before politics was focus and organizing. And these meds do make me do that so much. So now I'm looking forward to be able to do that. And that's the point that I was going to. Like I have so much work that I'm looking forward to be able to do once I'm done with the politics work. You know what I mean? Granted, like again, like I still think that me being on YouTube is societally actually more impactful than being elected. But if I was in power, then we would be talking differently. But I'm not, so. But if we were the electorate, you would be members of Scandinavia. I would love to have, sole executive power. I would love to have that. That's one of the things that I'm like, because I'll still be a politician until the next election. Technically, is that I'm just not going to be working basically at all during that time. And there's a thing that kind of like, I said in my video that I'm not going to run for re-election because it's taking too much time away from work, from my passions. It's burning me out. Like it's not fulfilling enough. But at the same time, I really, really like power, is the thing. I really like having power. And right now, I'm in opposition. Can you imagine if it looks like we could actually take power in the next election? Like, it would be really difficult for me to resist running for re-election, is the thing. But thankfully, I will be moving outside of the municipality, which will make me ineligible to run for re-election. So I will be saved by that. But I could also just join a local left party. See if they wanted to see how kindly they take to like a politician from a different municipality swooping in, being like, "Hello, let me lead you." That would never happen, and I would never want to, because again, it's YouTube full time. This is where I belong. Who am I fighting with? I'm fighting ghosts now. Ports of Coldstream. Yeah, like I have so many games I would like to play, folks. Like I have so many. I had a whole thing about like wanting to become Twitch partner for a while, and like stream video games regularly, like 2 or 3 times a week, every week. Like that was a thing that I really, really wanted to do. That I haven't done. I've been wanting to do like another podcast about fiction writing, which is a hobby that I have. Which that podcast hasn't happened, and also that hobby I haven't done for so long now because of all the stress. I've had a short film that I've been wanting to do on top of my normal video essays. I've been wanting to make stuff for Nebula, specifically for Nebula. None of that I've had time for. Like none of that I've had time for. But this summer, some things will change. Anyway, so can you tell I'm excited? I have a few weeks more of like living in a nightmare world of a lot of work, but then then I'm free. Or, you know, free-ish. It's literally called the Left Party. Yes. Yes, I belong to the Left Party. Used to be called different, now it's called the Left Party. Because we broke out of the Social Democrats. So, you know, they have the social in the name. They have the Democrats in the name. So, like, they're the Social Democratic Workers' Party. So what other name are you gonna have if you're gonna like leave that party to form an even more left-wing party? Well, you know, what they did end up doing was calling themselves the Left Party Communists, but then, you know, branding. Do you know what happened between Nebula and CuriosityStream? Did they go through a divorce or something? I don't know. Has there been drama? I haven't been paying attention. Folks, like there's a Slack channel. There's like a Slack for like Nebula, you know, where like staff at Nebula and, you know, creators and stuff can all be and post important messages and coordinate work and stuff like that. I haven't logged into that Slack for maybe 2 months. So they could have sent me like super important information. Like I may have paperwork that I haven't done or signed. I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know. And it's very possible. And I'm sitting here making jokes about it, but this is also almost definitionally burnout, which I am. Very much so. Like once I don't have to go to work, I'm going to spend maybe a week just like lounging, because that's what I was made to do. Can you tell I'm like high strung from all of the fucking work that I've been doing? I'm very healthy. Do you know Like the Knife? Do you know / like the Swedish band The Knife? No longer active. I haven't heard of them, so I don't know. I'm sorry. But I don't know if they had some sort of divorce thing. They could have, but I don't take my word for it. I am not a spokesperson for Nebula in any way. I'm just a small bean creator who would like to make more things for Nebula, because they're very nice people who are very kind and patient with the fact that I haven't made videos in nearly the same amount of output. I actually sent you a message on Reddit a while ago about how he helped me along my own trans journey. I vaguely remember. If I replied, I remember. If I didn't reply, then this is a different person. Don't even remember, but you're all 100% definitely happy through that. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm glad that I helped. My next video, I've been having a little bit lately. I've been maybe I just noticed it more, but I've been noticing the people who sort of like, you know, they tell me that my videos have had like some sort of impact on them, you know, discovering themselves or like helping them through gender journeys. My next video is gonna have oodles, bounties of gender, and sadness, and spirals. Mostly spirals. I promise you this makes sense. It will make sense, I guarantee it. Will it? It might not. It might not. Could be that this next video is completely indecipherable, which if anything would just be kind of funny. Curiosity stream changed direction because of investors. Really? Since you talked about it in your last video, would you like to share any more details about the time you occupied that building? Perhaps compare it to what is going on at US universities. Yeah, the people occupying, the people building encampments on campuses around the US are a lot braver than I was, and are based as fuck. I can't really draw much comparison about it because like we got dragged out by the police, and the police weren't using too much force honestly against us. Like we were doing like passive resistance during that occupation for trans rights, but the cops were like, you know, they weren't beating us down. They just like kind of, they dragged us out, but you know, after that it was fine. It didn't even, we like, I got a mugshot, and I would love to see that mugshot. Because like, and that is like, that would be so cool for content. But alas, they never showed it to me, and none of us were charged. So I don't have much more details about it. I think I mentioned it occasionally, like in videos and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, me and a bunch of friends founded an organization called the Trans Defense, and we occupied a government building. We got to help out on the only thing that like materially got out of that, like in terms of like concrete politics, was that we were invited to help out on a government investigation into the living conditions of trans people, which is, you know, not insignificant. Like that is a significant win, and one of the, like, you can't do that much more in the role of an activist unless you start like actually drafting laws and shit, which we were never gonna do anyway. That was not our goal. But yeah, but it was that thing that I said also in the video, that like the most impactful thing that we actually had were people who, you know, reached out to us and were like, you know, you helped me feel less alone, and that stuff matters a lot more, I think, than being in the media and just and like having discourse about gender than anything else. More gender. It's been a while since I made gender. Since I made something about gender, I think it's been like, and I like, you know, I really, it's something that I know a lot of like trans creators can struggle with a little bit, of like making content that's like always gender, and then it's like, okay, but do you have anything else to say? Like, is this just gender? But it's also like, but it's a thing that, you know, a lot of trans people have a lot of opinions about, so it's like that's a good thing to make content about. But I also don't want to be pigeonholed as like just a trans creator, you know what I mean? Like I would say that I am first and foremost a leftist, for example, and I just think that, like, you know, you don't want to step in, like, you want to be viewed as like a creator, not just a trans creator in that sense. However, it has been a while since I've made something about gender. One reason I haven't made something about gender recently is also because I haven't felt that I've had anything to say that I haven't said already. Now I do, because of the spirals. Sadness and gender, yeah. Are the spirals sad, or are the sadness due to the spirals? No, the spirals are due to the sadness, and also they're just there. So some of the spirals are there because of the sadness, but some of the spirals are just there because of the spirals. I know what it sounds like. It's gonna make sense. You know, I'll make it make sense in the coming month of actually making this video. I left this critic of Fusili Basla. not gonna be very leftist, actually. It's not gonna be very like explicitly like ideological in that sense, but it's gonna be it's gonna be it's gonna be, you know what I mean? About spirals. I remember something big about you and Grant O'Brien. There we go. I do, yeah, I remember that one. That was good. Yeah, because I have. I'm basically, if you don't know, Grant O'Brien is a comedian who does a lot of stuff on Dropout and used to do stuff for College Humor, and who's very funny, but also is very tall and lanky, and that's me. Legitimately, everyone who watches Dropout media that I know personally have compared me independently of each other to Grant O'Brien. And I don't know what that says about me. I don't know what that says about Grant, but it tracks. Because, I mean, he definitely has ADHD, for sure. And we're just very similar in like a lot of ways, you know what I mean? Can there ever be too much gender? There definitely can be. If anything, that's actually partly that's like one of the sections in my video, weirdly enough. Kind of look like cousins, right? Like we, you know, I can see it. It's not a Nine Inch Nails reference, actually. It's just spirals. It's not a reference to anything. It's like a lot of people have been trying, like, not a lot of people, but some people have been sort of like trying to suss out like what the spirals reference. They're not referencing anything. It's spirals. They're their own thing. Searching for Star Wars politics video. I hope you liked it. I made that. I don't remember making that one because I made that one when I had like shot out my back and couldn't, like, legitimately couldn't stand up or walk around for more than like a minute or so. So that entire video I had to make, because I also had to make it because I had a deadline coming up with a sponsor. So I had to make a video, but also I could barely move. So that's how the Star Wars video happened. I hope you liked it. Police forgot to file me. That happens more often than you'd think. Use your authority as a politician to investigate your own criminal record. I can't. I'm not high enough. I'm not high ranking enough. I think if I were, I don't actually know which authority the police here would be under. Because it could be, you know, it might just be like they might answer to the parliament. So unless I'm in parliament, I have no power. The municipality doesn't have its own police force, so I have no power over the cops. The cops, like, you know, they report occasionally like information to municipal politicians because, you know, things that happen here impact the work that we both do, and like there's cooperation and just like that. But I don't actually have any power over the police themselves. The power we do kind of have is like, you know, putting up security cameras in certain parts of town, prioritizing sort of like which crimes should we put security cameras up for, things like that. But I like the legality and like their internal systems I have no power. Could it be the aggressive bisexuality? Yes. That could be it. It does kind of track. Folks, I'm getting hungry as all hell. I think I might order some food if there's some cheap food available. Because if there's not, I'll just make something else after this stream. But I didn't expect to get so hungry so quickly because, like, we're not even halfway through the stream, and if I get too hungry, like, I'm not gonna, like, that's not good. I need to be able to last through this. Oh, it's so fucking expensive. I'm not ordering that shit. I can't afford that. I'll order something. No, I'll make something later. I have a lot of potatoes. I'm gonna make some roasted potatoes in garlic butter. It's gonna be great. Some herbs in there too. Some nice salt. Mmm. Did you ever see the movie Dark City? There's a detective character who loses his mind and obsessively draws spirals. Good movie, by the way. Came out in 1998. It's comparable to Matrix. Oh, I haven't seen that. That seems interesting. Especially if it's about spirals. Love the video, by the way. I'm glad you did. Ate dinner today at 6 p.m. while watching the stream. Then I realized I hadn't had your morning coffee. Sipping morning coffee at 6:20 p.m. That's very fair. Cooking channel 1. Yeah, no. I don't have time to start up like another thing. I need if anything to reduce the amount of things that I do, which is like, again, soon I'm gonna be reducing politics. Thank Christ for that. And then I don't know what else to reduce. The place I'm moving to is gonna be a lot closer to the city than I am currently. So I am also gonna reduce commuting time, which is lovely stuff. And I say the city, didn't say which city. It's such a pain when you made it. That, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Pain drives creativity. Cooking with me and Mulder just to chef him up in noises because Swedish. Did you know that the reason the Swedish chef makes those noises is because around the time that the Muppets were like making that character of the Swedish chef, it became like a meme kind of like, and I don't remember when this was like decades and decades ago. It was like an American meme that was formed out of a literal Swedish guest who like guested Swedish chef who guested on like a late night TV show, and who like didn't do a great job and who had like a really strong accent of like a very regional Swedish dialect, which kind of sounds like that thing, because he like, it doesn't sound like Swedish. It sounds nothing like Swedish, but it sounds like that dialect. So it's that whole character of the Swedish chef is just making fun of one dude who had like an awkward appearance on like a late night show or something like that. Isn't that kind of fucked up though? Imagine that you're that guy, right? Like imagine that you're going on a TV show and you kind of like, you know, you weren't on your best game, and then you have like a cultural icon created in your image making fun of the way that you sound, with the whole joke is you beefed it and you are incomprehensible. Like, how did they get away with doing that? They can't do that. That's bullying. Kind of like anyone who's ever been made into a meme, right? But like, but not only has it, but like, it's I think it's worse, right? Because like, yes, if you're made into a meme, you get made fun of, and that's what happens to everyone who gets turned into a meme. But imagine that a meme gets turned into like a beloved, like, children's icon for decades, multiple decades, changes the cultural, like, national opinion and like perception of an entire country, because like that's how a lot of Americans now think of Swedes whenever they like, oh, Swedish chef, blah, 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 blah. Like for decades. At least the Irma Gerd girl, like, like, you know, I think in 2 decades, no one's gonna really know what the fuck that meme is. You know what I mean? Like, that meme is not really relevant right now anyway. It's like I have a hard time finding like a better example of like a just like a bully move. And it's like the Muppets. Like, aren't you supposed to be nice? Like, why are you bullying this like probably like nice man who just like beefed up some spaghetti and Swedish meatballs? Mamma mia. God, I'm actually getting kind of hungry. Would you be super mad at me if, like, I know I promised 3 or 4 hours. Would you be really mad at me if I cut this kind of early? I think because like, how about this? Like, we play some Jackbox maybe because like I'm kind of running out of like Hangout talking steam. We'll do that for a bit. Uh, but then it's like I don't know what else to do. You know what I mean? It's just like we like I think this is why these streams are usually an hour long, and it becomes a little bit difficult to sort of like stretch them into 4 hours and still have like the same energy. Things are girly. No, not yet. We're going at least for 2 hours. So how about we play some Jackbox for a bit, and then maybe I cut it to go to grab something to eat because yeah, I forgot to eat again, didn't I? Let's play some fucking video games. How do you do that? It's been so long. It's been a long time since I made a fucking like video game stream. Do you have a Discord server? Technically, yes. I'm not active on it and don't really use it. But technically, yes, for patrons. Cool. Maybe I should download something also. Why didn't I do this earlier? I should have done this earlier. Again, I'm not a very intelligent person, you know. Can do that. That's just fun. Will you marry me? No, I won't. Sorry. Sorry about that. I am taken. I am taken and monogamous. Okay, let's get this fucking. Let's get some. Also, the sun is set. I'm also noticing this. Also, this is another fucking reason for me to kind of end it early. It is very overcast, and the sun is like kind. I mean, it's getting evening now here. It's almost 6 p.m. The sun is going down, and I can see the lighting getting worse in the stream window. Yesterday it was great because it was like a clear sky and it had so much sunlight. It was wonderful. But now I'm like, because it's overcast, you can see sort of like every blemish in my tired face. So Jackbox is a game that you can play on your phone, which means that if you want to join in, all you need is a smartphone, and you can go to like jackbox.tv to sort of like join in. I'm just gonna join in myself so that, you know, it works. I'm thinking maybe we play some Fibbage, and then maybe we play some like Quiplash or something, because that's also like a fun one. Do I have Quiplash? So before I show you the stream itself, I'm just gonna hang out. You can play in browser too, that's true. All you really need is a web browser. I think it's just most people just use their phone, like, because it's a party game mostly, primarily, right? And I'm gonna use my phone, just because my monitor is busy with streaming shit. But yes, you can use a browser, that's true. If you're watching this on PC, or like, desktop computers, or laptop computers, or any, if you can access the internet. La da da. See now, see now I'm getting energy again. Not because I have food, because I'm like, you know, another thing to do. We used to do this actually, like on other, how do you say, on other Hangout streams, like way back in the day, when my Hangout streams would typically be way longer. Let me just. Family friendly? No. Why would we have family friendly? Quiplash is gonna be the one that actually like has answers like come on it, you know? Compared to this one, which is going to be a bit more like, I don't know, reasonable. Because Fibbage is a bit more reasonable in that way. I'm going to increase the volume a little bit for you so you can hear. Let me know if you can still hear me well, and then I'll show you the room key very soon. Hope everything keeps getting better for you. I also hope this. I'm tired of being tired. Okay. Thank you for hanging out though. And of course you are, it's always fun to see people join in on the stream. And I hope you're all having a good time as well, even though we are, you know, hanging out, but in a different way. I mean, but this is also the point, you know, of these Hangout streams is we just hang out. There are no rules. There are no rules for how to do things. Oh, and if you don't get like a player slot, you can still join in the audience. 'Cause like that's one of the features that they have. As like a, you know, for people actually streaming in case it fills up. But it might not. I don't know how many people are into Jackbox. Linux represent millennials on their dumb phones. Listen. All right. See you. Have a good day. Let's go.
I'm Cookie Masterson, and I've started a small fire somewhere in the room. Let's see how this plays out. 8-player game? Is it my birthday or something? Well, it is, but this isn't about me. Oh, and if anybody else wants to join, they can get in the audience at any time. You can vote on decoy answers to trip up the players, and you get to take a shot at guessing the truth. Let's hit it. This is round 1, and that means you get 500 for each player you fool with your made-up answer. And you'll get 1,000 for finding the truth. Select a category. All right, question 1. The Echo Park neighborhood in Los Angeles is home to a unique convenience store. It's called the Blank Mart. Now, on your device, type out a good lie that you think other players might believe is true. If you can't think of something, press the Lie For Me button for half the points. Do it now.
Love the energies of these streams. It's very cozy. I'm glad. That's exactly the point, actually. The point is to be like nice and cozy and comfortable. Now the timer is extended, so you have more time than you otherwise would have. But you know, be quick. I should probably write something myself, huh? I got words in the brain.
Okay, those are the choices. Touch the truth on your device now.
None of these make any sense.
All right, let's see what everybody picked.
It was too obvious. I knew it. Underwater mark. Oh yeah.
Great lie.
Did no one get it? Did no one get it? Time travel. That's wild. Yeah, mine was a word sperm mark. I said cum earlier, and now I got
Time to pick a category.
in the brain.
Here's a question for you. The Elmhurst Art Museum in Illinois debuted an exhibit called Kings and Queens in 2017 that lets you enjoy art while blank. Type in your lies now.
We're just playing some games to hang out. The whole point is it's just a hangout stream, so we're just hanging out.
Okay, which one is the truth?
You, fuck yes.
Okay, let's take a look.
Why am I always the first one to get dunked on?
Just as the artists intended.
Enter lies now, yeah. If someone wanted to take
Just in from Hollywood.
like a political attack ad on me, it would be so easy for them to do that. It would be so easy for them to do that.
Celebrity tweet. In July of 2013, Twin Peaks director David Lynch tweeted, "Dear Twitter friends, the blank are running fast and free." Okay, enter your lies.
This could be anything. This could be anything. David Lynch is so weird.
Hurry, use the lie for me button if you're stuck. Okay, look for the truth and pick it. Okay, what did everyone pick?
It legitimately could be anything. This. He needs to get a TikTok account. He would thrive there, I think. The happy squirrels. I mean, that tracks for him, honestly.
This is round 2, which means all point values are doubled. Okay, pick a category.
Oh, shit.
Okay, here's your question. Before it was turned into a kid's toy, Play-Doh was designed as a blank. Write your lies now.
I'm just eating these crackers like there's no tomorrow. Once this stream is over, I'm gonna devour whatever I have in my fridge.
Finish quick, or just hit the lie for me button. Okay, which one's the truth? All right, let's see what you guys picked.
I love that cement can be replaced. But Play-Doh would do it. It gets hard. It gets hard as fuck once it dries. Yeah, that's a good lie. Could be pipe seal. It's like it worked.
Oh, they took the bait on that one. And here I've spent all these years cleaning my wallpaper with Nickelodeon gack.
Why?
Give me a category.
Oh no.
Okay, here's the
It's gonna
question.
be about me.
When Christopher Viatappa Googled himself in 2014, he was surprised to find that he was blank. Enter your lies now.
That was a good lie, yeah.
Hurry up, use a suggestion if you can't think of anything. Okay, find the truth.
I love that both dead and alive are on this thing. Go sleep. Have a good time. Hope you had fun.
Let's see how things shook out. And it was also... And can you believe it? It was also...
Everyone's just like dead. I love it.
Well, that was interesting.
That'd be wild to find out on a Google.
Even more tragic, he was also in a bad parody of Gangnam Style.
That was fun. That was good. That was a good one.
All right, choose a category. No, please, allow me. Try this one. During the 18th century, admission to see the exotic animals at London's Royal Menagerie was 3 halfpence, but you could avoid the charge if you simply brought blank. All right, type in your lies.
I think I've heard of this one, actually. I could be wrong. Let's see if I remember. I may be entirely wrong. But I think I've heard of like this fun fact on like QI or something. Because if you watch QI, like a lot of people with ADHD, a lot of, you know, the fun facts about the world are also reflected here as well.
Finish quick, or just hit the lie for me button. Okay, seek the truth.
I'm trying to think about like how like zoological practices were in the 18th century, and I don't know shit about that.
And what did people pick?
They should let you, to be fair. I almost picked this one, to be fair. Yeah. I remembered.
Yeah, they fed dogs and cats to the lions. If you're going today, just bring them a casserole or something.
Yeah. Horrible. Absolutely horrible.
It's final fibbage time. Pay attention, because this last one's worth triple points. Have fun. In 1897, the Indiana House of Representatives passed a bill that redefined blank as blank. Write your lies now.
Yeah, like it's one of those things of like, yeah, the facts of lost astronomer. That it makes sense. 18th century.
Okay, take a look and find the truth.
Oh God. I feel like there's a lot of similar answers here from people who probably know what it is in that case, because there's no way there would be like 3 very similar answers. Unless it's that thing, kind of. Senate didn't pass it. I would hope so. If it is this, it could also... Crab says people is unbeatable, though.
All right, who picked what?
Wow!
That was a big one.
Who knows? Indiana's weird like that sometimes.
Great lie there.
Participating quiz. No, we're playing a Jackbox game.
Because math is a whole lot easier when it
Because
doesn't
we've been hanging
have
out
to
for a
be
while,
correct.
and I don't have a lot of energy to keep up just talking for 4 hours. Yesterday when I did this, but for patrons, I won. I won. Yay. Yay. Hell yeah, that was fun. Let's do a Quiplash one just because then you can, because then it's just about like you don't have to be correct, you just have to be funny, which is I think a fun thing to end this little stream on. But yesterday, when I did a stream like this for patrons, I managed to. We also did like a react type of thing. Like I was reacting to an older video of mine, which is something that patrons, get to see, and they, I answer questions about the video production and stuff like that, and come in with, like thoughts and things I've learned since making that video. And that was fun, but that also managed to take up an hour, and we don't have that here. So we're playing games instead, which is a lot easier for me to fill the time. And the reason I'm doing a stream for so long now, in comparison to what I used to do, is because I have been negligent in my duties of having the streams once a month, which I'm supposed to do. So I'm doing one long stream yesterday and one kind of long stream today as well. But I was hoping for at least 3 hours today, but because I forgot to eat and because the sun is setting and because I'm just kind of tired on a Sunday, I asked if we could end it like after 2 hours, and that has I have gotten approval for that. But I'm gonna try to also, you know, not be negligent again in the future regarding my streams. Because if I'm negligent again with the promises I've done to patrons, I'm gonna have to do this again. And this is fun, but it's so long. On a weekend too. Okay. That's a good game. It was a fun game. It was very good. Okay, let's be funny. Let's do some funny goofs and bits. The last time I played this in real life, I had to put a rule in for like a specific type of joke that we just could not do, because a lot of people in the room would do that type of humor, but it would be a kind of humor that not everyone can do. Only a certain type of person can do that kind of joke, which is very funny, but also changes the vibe very quickly. Okay, I'm gonna hit the start thing. Are we going on like the good setting, by the way? I hope so. Ultra low latency, very good. Very good, excellent. This one did person. I think so too. I like streaming. I love streaming, and I love just hanging out. And as someone mentioned, like, this is a bit more of a relaxed hangout vibe. You know, there is a spiral. There is a spiral right now. You're right. Fuck yeah! What a good way to end the stream. Okay, I'm gonna hit the everyone. There is a spiral. You're so right. Isn't it so beautiful? I'm legitimately having a thing about spirals.
My voice is included with your purchase of this game at no extra charge. Oh, this is going to be one for the books. I can feel it. And remember, audience members can join the game at any time by entering the room code. Audience votes count too, you know. This is round one. You are about to see two prompts on your device. Type something hilarious or not for each one. Then everyone gets to decide if your answer is better than someone else's. Democracy at work. The more folks who choose your answer, the more points you get. Go. Folks in the audience can try the audience play along while we wait for our players to finish.
Remember there are two prompts, so you don't forget. Because sometimes you miss. Sometimes it's easy to miss. Look, this is like another spiral. Two spirals even. Chocolate.
Almost out of time. Use the safety quit button if you have to.
You're not wrong.
Okay, moment of truth. Our first prompt is a troubling thing to notice on your shirt tag, 2% blank. Okay, pick your favorite and vote.
Milk was good. Milk got me.
Next in the hopper, the weirdest label you could have on a moving box.
How relevant, because I'm moving.
Vote now.
I'm gonna have one of these on the moving boxes now. Just to fuck with the moving company. And both very good options. Very good from both of you. Everyone's so
And
funny.
next, a disturbing thing to see your kid making out of clay. Get to voting.
One of these sentences is mine. Yeah, but out of clay? Oh, but the audience is on the transgender.
Next in line, the top pop song of 1906,
Pop song.
probably. Ready, set, vote.
No, I've seen Abby's videos. There's a lot of ankle there. Abby isn't shy with ankle. But if you were here yesterday to see the stream that I did for patrons, you know that I am very shy with ankle. I will not show ankle. I've seen her videos.
Up next, the worst sign-off line you could have on your email. Put in your votes.
This one's also one of mine. I hope you're having a nice relaxing fun time.
Next prompt.
That's all with these
The
hangouts
reason
are
the
supposed to be.
aliens stopped abducting you. Vote on your devices.
Felonious monk. Feloniously, I might steal that one though, feloniously, for my job. Because I send a lot of emails as a politician. And I never know what to have as sort of like the tagline. I might have felonious though. Or like criminally. Could be fun.
Your next prompt is the last thing you want to hear from somebody sitting in front of you on a megabus. Okay, vote.
Feloniously is insane. It's not that insane. I've posted I'm joining the war on drugs on the side of drugs, which is not really something you're supposed to do when you're representing a party, which technically has as its party policy that drugs should be illegal.
Moving on.
I'm technically
What are
breaking
chicken
party
nuggets
party rules by
really
doing
made
that.
out of? And vote.
There it is. Main character concludes a business letter with yours in anger. Yes. Yours in anger is very good. Disrespectfully. I did once reply to an email with the tagline, "Never contact me again." It didn't work.
That's round one. Let's take a look at the scores.
That's good. That's good, folks. You're doing great.
It's now time for round two. Everything is worth double, twice as much.
Yeah, we know what double means, Jackbox. We're not children.
Audience members, instead of just waiting around while the players type, try the audience play along.
Hello? Is someone in my house? Better not be. Then John's a Belgian.
Hurry.
If you are to say we have to say never
contact
contact me again,
Think of something.
it is real. Yeah. Sloth. Are you kidding me? That would be so. That would be the perfect game for me. First person sloth scavenger. Are you fucking kidding me? I would need that more than anything.
Let's see how you did. The first prompt is a cheesy pickup line from a camel. Okay, voting time. Pick your favorite.
Y'all are really funny. It's good to know that I've cultivated a very funny audience. It's hard to beat fancy,
Okay, next one. Queen Elizabeth's wrestling name. It's voting time.
I thought we go the other way, honestly.
Indoor skydiving makes a lot more sense than indoor blank. Vote away.
Pants wearing is good.
Next on the list, a great pickup line to use on the person cleaning up the spill you caused in the grocery store.
So specific.
Time to vote.
I've never seen this prompt before. It's good. It's good as the thing.
Coming up next, a new traffic law that really needs to happen. It's voting time.
Oh my god. Both of these are really good. And unfortunately, I don't have the power to do either of these ones. It's one level up from me. It's a regional issue, not a municipal issue. I wish, though. I need to pay respect though to Dog and Hoa every other day. Like, that would be just
bad
funny.
Substitute for dental floss. Put in your votes. Next one, a movie that needed more nudity. Get to voting.
The Thing is very good. As an answer, I will say.
Next up, the name of a holiday you quickly make up to get out of work. Vote now.
Wow, split players and audience entirely. That's fun.
We've reached the end of round 2. Let's see what happened.
Hell yeah. Again, I'm very glad that you're very
This is
funny.
round 3, the last lash. Everyone gets the same one single prompt this time.
I'm hearing myself say things, and I'm realizing that me and Grant O'Brien
Make up the
could
full
not have a
name for
podcast
this
together
acronym.
because it would just be like we have very similar speech mannerisms. I feel like.
Okay, here we go. In this round, you've got 3 medals to give to your 3 favorite quips: gold, silver, and bronze. Choose wisely.
These are very good. So you get 3 votes on this. Excellent work.
Okay, let's bring out those medals. Bronze. Bring out the silver. And gold. Let's melt those medals down for points.
It's very good is the thing.
We did it, you guys. Let's go to the scores.
Yay. Congrats. That's fun. Milk. Wonderful. So that was fun. That was great. That was good. With that though, I do think I am gonna have to abort the stream. Not the full 3 hours as I really wanted to do, but at some point I gotta look out for my food and eating and stuff like that. But we will be able to do more of these streams very soon. Once I'm moved and ready, like I'll be so much more free, like able to do stuff like that. So we should do this again, especially now that I'm gonna have more time, so I can actually do things like play Jackbox and stuff like that, like longer streams that aren't just like crammed into whatever hour I have left. So that's gonna be fun. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm sorry for aborting the stream slightly earlier than I planned, but it's literally just because I'm starving. And I will, yeah, thanks for hanging out. And I will hear from all of you, hopefully pretty soon. I have a vlog that's gonna come out for patrons reasonably soon. It's very short, but it's another thing that I've promised for patrons. And I will tell Salem hi. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out, and hear from you soon. Bye bye.